Saturday Night Fever isn't just a disco dance movie. Beneath the glittering lights, the pounding Bee Gees soundtrack, and John Travolta's iconic white suit lies a story packed with grit, passion, and real-life drama. Number 20. Saturday Night Fever was so filthy raunchy.
Are you as good in bed as you are on the dance floor?
Ain't never made it in a bed.
Well, are you? Are you as good in bed as you are on that dance floor?
They had to make a clean version as a second movie. Saturday Night Fever didn't just get edited for TV. Paramount actually made a second sanitized version for theaters. The original was an unapologetic R full of profanity, adult-rated content, and raw 1970s grit. But once it became clear the disco craze had teens lining up at the box office, the studio smelled more ticket sales, if they could just sneak under the PG rating. So they cleaned up and edited whole scenes. Every F-bomb got swapped for a tame cousin. Raunchy exchanges, rewritten and filmed again. And yes, this family-friendly cut still had the Bee Gees and all the dancing, just without the darker underbelly. The strategy worked. Teenagers who couldn't get into the R-rated version now packed into screenings of the PG cut. But dance with this diamond dust. Most people today have never seen it. The clean version quietly disappeared, living on only in a few rare VHS and TV airings. For one disco-saturated summer in '78, Saturday Night Fever was two movies at once. Surprised by that fact? Wait till you hear the hot stuff at number 17. But first, number 19. Travolta trained like a fighter to dance like a king. You don't get moves like Tony Manero's by accident. Months before Saturday Night Fever even started shooting, John Travolta went into full-on disco boot camp. 2-mile runs every morning, strict dieting, and up to 3 hours of dance rehearsal every single day, until his feet were covered in blisters. Here's the tango twist. He was rehearsing to music that wasn't even in the movie yet. The Bee Gees? Not hired. Travolta drilled his steps to whatever club tracks he could get his hands on, trusting the real soundtrack would eventually lock in. By the time cameras rolled, Travolta could strut, spin, and point with the kind of confidence you can't fake. Earned one blister at a time. Number 18. That pizza scene, it made history. It's one of the most Brooklyn moments in movie history. Tony Manero, strutting down the block, grabs a couple of slices and keeps on walking. But look closely. He's not holding them separately. Travolta stacks them. 2 slices, 1 bite. This wasn't in the script. John Travolta has said in interviews that this was something he actually saw locals do while hanging out in Bensonhurst before filming. It's a fast, no-mess trick for eating on the go. That simple, unscripted choice turned into an iconic image, not just for the film, but for New York City itself. Fans still visit Lenny's Pizza today, recreating the move exactly as Travolta did it in '77. The shop even renamed the order the Travolta Special. Number 17. The 2001 Odyssey dance floor was real and nearly burned out the crew. The shimmering dance floor at 2001 Odyssey wasn't some Hollywood set piece. It was the real floor in the real Brooklyn nightclub. But it wasn't built for the demands of filmmaking. The floor's light panels ran so hot that, according to director John Badham, the bulbs underneath could overheat within minutes. Add in the sweltering summer heat, packed extras, and heavy lighting rigs for filming, and the crew was constantly mopping up sweat. To make matters worse, the constant heat warped some of the clear acrylic tiles, creating tiny trip hazards. The only thing hotter than that dance floor was the cast trying to survive it. And that wasn't the only survival risk. Wait until you hear about a real terror at number 14. But first, number 16. Filming became difficult because fans went wild for Travolta.
I just love it. Watching you dance.
Hey, Tony, now do him a favor. Why don't you take a picture?
To watch you dance, Tony.
Yeah?
I love it. I love to watch. Tony, can I wipe off your forehead?
Why not? Sure, go ahead.
Hey, Doreen, it ain't no blowjob. You don't know fuck about women, Joey. You get a blowjob easier than you get that.
I know.
Before Saturday Night Fever was even a hit, John Travolta was already a household name thanks to Welcome Back, Kotter. That meant wherever he went, especially on the gritty Brooklyn streets, fans swarmed like they were at a rock concert. The film crew had to get crafty. Fake call sheets with wrong times and locations flew around to keep the hordes guessing. Scenes were shot at dawn or in secret spots just to dodge the screaming mobs. Sometimes the fan frenzy got so out of control, the whole shoot had to pause. That wild energy off camera mirrored the raw electric pulse on screen. Turning Saturday Night Fever into more than just a disco movie, it became a full-blown cultural takeover. Number 15. The tango hustle with Stephanie was pure improvisation.
No, Vince.
Can you should step play the Latin when I was in the shows?
Okay, I got that. That's good.
I'll take your hand like this. I'll count. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
This wasn't choreographed down to the last step. The famous tango hustle that Tony and Stephanie dance? It happened because their choreographer didn't show up. So Travolta and Karen Lynn Gorney invented it, on the spot, in front of the camera. Director John Badham loved the spontaneous energy and let them run with it. Their chemistry crackles. It's raw, electric, and completely genuine. Pure improvisation, art born from chaos. Now, shimmy closer, because next, we're diving into a moment where fear wasn't acting. It was real. A fall off a bridge that left Donna Pescow shaken to her core. Number 14. Bobby's bridge fall was real terror for Donna Pescow.
Bob, come on. We'll talk, all right? Interesting, Don.
This is the moment the movie rips your guts out. And it's not Stephanie taking the plunge. It's Bobby C. spiraling into the black water like a rag doll in slow motion. And that look of horror on Annette's face? Yeah, she wasn't faking it. Director John Badham pulled a cold-blooded stunt, never telling Pescow there was a hidden safety platform just out of sight. She thought Barry Miller had actually gone full stuntman into open, freezing water. That's not method acting. That's, holy crap, did my friend just die? In a film obsessed with rhythm and rehearsed moves, this one moment is pure chaos, unscripted, unpolished, and hitting harder than any disco beat ever could. Number 13. Saturday Night Fever has some Rocky DNA. You might not think disco and boxing go together, but Saturday Night Fever and Rocky share some surprising bloodlines. At first, the film was set to be directed by John G. Avildsen, the very man who had just shocked Hollywood with Rocky. But just weeks before shooting, Avildsen was fired, replaced by John Badham, whose grittier, street-level vision reshaped the movie into the Brooklyn story we know today. The Rocky connection doesn't stop there. Look closely at Tony Manero's bedroom wall. Right above his bed hangs a Rocky poster, a subtle nod to the working-class dreamer who fights his way out of obscurity. And then in 1983, when Paramount decided to make a sequel, Staying Alive, they handed the director's chair to none other than Sylvester Stallone himself. Fact number 12 is about real, lived-in clothes, but at number 7, you'll hear about the real people who made it into the film. Number 12. The disco wardrobe was mostly from thrift stores. The flashy disco outfits in Saturday Night Fever look like million-dollar costumes. But the truth? Most came straight from thrift stores. Costume designer Patricia von Brandenstein scoured Brooklyn and Manhattan thrift shops to find authentic 70s disco wear, vinyl pants, polyester shirts, platform shoes, you name it.
Don't forget this.
He's taking over again. Hey.
Tony's white suit? That was a custom piece, but far from fancy. It was made on a tight budget with polyester fabric chosen specifically to pop under disco lights, making Travolta's character instantly unforgettable. Number 11. Tony's mom wasn't just a role. Her part grew bigger on set.
I come home, you tell me I'm late for dinner, and you know that I gotta work till 6 o'clock and I can't make it. Every time you mention Frank Jr., you gotta cross yourself.
He's a priest, ain't he? Father Frank Jr., you should have been a priest like your brother. You wouldn't worry about a job.
Julie Bavasso wasn't originally supposed to have such a big role in Saturday Night Fever. But as filming progressed, director John Badham noticed something. Her tough Brooklyn mom energy was too real to ignore. So, they started giving her more scenes and sharper lines, turning her into the emotional anchor of Tony's complicated family life. It wasn't scripted from the start. It was born on set, out of the raw chemistry between Bavasso and Travolta. Her character's gritty realism added weight to the movie's family drama, balancing Tony's flashy disco world with the hard truths of his Brooklyn upbringing. All right, disco divas, are you loving these wild behind-the-scenes stories? Drop your favorite moments so far in the comments below and hit that like button by pointing your finger in the air whilst shouting, "Ha ha ha ha, staying alive." Do you appreciate how difficult it is for an AI voice to sing? Now, the next facts will hit harder than Tony's dance moves on that legendary floor. And stick around for the monumental lie that made it to fact number 1. Number 10. John Travolta was grieving during filming after his real-life girlfriend, Diana Hyland, died of cancer. Stephanie later recounted that Tony wasn't himself when she said, "I remember the scene at the Verrazano Bridge when I lean over and kiss him. The poor thing was suffering so, and that kiss was totally spontaneous. That wasn't Tony and Stephanie. That was because I really saw he was hurting." Behind the glitter and groove of Saturday Night Fever, John Travolta was fighting a private battle. His real-life girlfriend, actress Diana Hyland, was diagnosed with breast cancer and tragically passed away in March 1977, right as filming was underway. Travolta kept his pain mostly private, but that heartbreak quietly seeped into his performance. Tony Manero's loneliness, his desperate grasp at dreams beneath the disco frenzy, carries a haunting authenticity. Number 9. John Travolta's dance partner was constantly nervous dancing beside him.
Listen, we both got the same last initials, so they like that. Now, I'm Tony Manero.
Karen Lynn Gorney, who played Stephanie, wasn't a trained dancer when she landed the role. In fact, she was terrified of the intense choreography, especially the famous dance rehearsals with John Travolta. That nervous energy translated into raw vulnerability on screen. Director John Badham encouraged her to embrace that fear, knowing it made their chemistry more believable. Tony's confident moves contrast perfectly with Stephanie's tentative steps. The result? A dance scene charged with real emotion and tension. Far from a polished performance, it captured two very different worlds colliding on the dance floor. Number 8. The famous mirror ball scene almost got scrapped because it was too trippy. The iconic scene where Tony dances alone under the massive spinning mirror ball is a visual masterpiece. But believe it or not, the studio executives initially hated it. They thought the flickering lights and dizzying reflections were too psychedelic and might confuse audiences. Director John Badham fought tooth and nail to keep the sequence. He argued it captured Tony's isolation and inner turmoil perfectly, contrasting the public disco scenes with a private moment of raw emotion. Thanks to Badham's stubbornness, the scene stayed and it became one of the film's most haunting and memorable visuals. Speaking of realness, the next scene throws us into the gritty heart of Brooklyn, filmed live, with no actors, just the actual locals hanging out in a paint store. Number 7. The paint store hangout was filmed live with real Brooklyn locals.
Look, I'm gonna make a nice deal on this. $1 off for you. How you like that? Thank you. I'll take it down. $10.98 on this special gold.
The paint store scenes feel authentic, right? That's because they are. The filmmakers shot these scenes in an actual Brooklyn paint store, and the extras weren't actors, they were real locals just hanging out. Director John Badham wanted to capture the genuine Brooklyn vibe, so he kept the cameras rolling during natural conversations and spontaneous moments. Many of the extras had no idea they were even in a movie. This choice gave the film its gritty, lived-in feeling. The paint store wasn't just a backdrop, it was a slice of real life, complete with the smells, sounds, and attitudes of Brooklyn in the late 70s. Number 6. John Travolta fought the studio to keep full-body shots of his dance moves. The studio wanted close-ups, lots of close-ups focusing on John Travolta's face during the dances, but Travolta wasn't having it. He'd spent weeks perfecting every spin, slide, and pivot, and he knew the whole body was the star, not just his smile. Travolta insisted the camera show every killer move, full body every time. His fight paid off. Those wide shots captured the raw, kinetic power that made Tony Manero a disco legend. Without Travolta's stubbornness, we'd never have seen those iconic moves in all their glory. Keep grooving, because coming up, we've got a full-on meltdown and another accidental casting. Number 5. The Bee Gees didn't join until after filming wrapped. On the set, actors danced to the beats of Stevie Wonder and Boz Scaggs, not the Bee Gees. John Travolta himself confirmed, "The Bee Gees weren't even involved in the movie in the beginning. I was dancing to Stevie Wonder and Boz Scaggs." In one iconic rehearsal, Tony and Stephanie dancing in the studio, the choreography was originally set to Boz Scaggs' Lowdown. However, Columbia Records denied clearance due to competing film interests. Composer David Shire had to swiftly craft a new piece to match their steps, though it never made the soundtrack. Only once production entered post-production did Robert Stigwood bring the Bee Gees on board. They wrote and delivered the now legendary tracks like Stayin' Alive, Night Fever, and How Deep Is Your Love virtually overnight, shaping the soundtrack after filming had concluded. Next up, you won't believe this. Travolta's iconic white suit pose wasn't at all choreographed. Number 4. Travolta's iconic pose was born from pure exhaustion. You know that iconic stance. Tony in a white suit, chest thrust, one finger pointing up, the other down. That wasn't choreographed. It was born from desperation. It happened on the final day of a brutal 14 to 15-hour shoot, and photographer Alfred Wertheimer asked Travolta, "Do you have anything left in you?" Travolta gasped, "Oh, geez. Okay, how about this?" and struck that pose on the fly. Total improvisation. Total magic. That moment didn't just sell movie posters. It became the movie. Number 3, White Castle meltdown was real. No actors, just shock. This ain't fiction. That flinch you see when Tony and the gang burst into White Castle? Those weren't actors. They were actual burger flippers, mid-shift, thrown off by real lunacy. Director John Badham basically told them, "Just keep doing your job." Meanwhile, Joey climbs up the table and begins to bark. The fear, the confusion, the instinctive recoil, that's all organic, unrehearsed, and it's right there on screen. Forget rehearsed comedy. This is raw, unfiltered cinema. Someone pulling a prank so wild that even the extras break. It's one of those electric moments where the camera just captures life barreling into art. Number 2, Stephanie was casted by accident.
Physically, every which way. In this world, we get much bigger and much worse with every pass. There's a world of difference between us, you know? Not just chronologically, but emotionally. How old are you, huh?
I'm 20. Well, I'm 19 at the moment, but I'll be 20 very shortly.
Sometimes Hollywood magic isn't planned, it stumbles in by pure accident. Donna Pescow wasn't supposed to be Stephanie Mangano. In fact, she was a struggling New York actress hustling for roles when a friend casually mentioned an audition for some disco movie. The producers were hunting for a Stephanie who could both act and keep up with Travolta's moves. Most auditionees nailed one or the other, but Donna, she brought a no-nonsense, streetwise charm that felt real. By the end, director John Badham and the casting team knew they'd just found their Stephanie. That spur-of-the-moment decision became one of the film's most defining strokes of luck. And now, the moment we've been building toward, let's strut to the mirror ball. Here's fact 1. Number 1, Tony Manero was a lie. The real Vincent never lived.
Al Pacino. Al
You think you're watching a time capsule of 1970s Brooklyn swagger, the collar, the hair, the paint can, the strut. And you figure, yeah, this guy's gotta be based on someone real. Nope. Tony Manero's DNA came from a British journalist, Nick Cohn, who, in 1976, published an article about a Bay Ridge disco king named Vincent. The article blew up, sold the disco dream, and became the skeleton for Saturday Night Fever. Here's the twirl. Years later, Cohn confessed. Vincent never existed. The so-called real Tony was stitched together from the street style, the attitude, and Cohn's own imagination. Cohn barely knew the Brooklyn disco scene, he was just great at faking it. So Tony's strut down that sidewalk, 100% pure fiction. But it didn't matter. Travolta's walk, that soundtrack, and that attitude burned the lie into pop culture forever. And that's a wrap on 20 wild facts proving Saturday Night Fever is more than just a disco flick. Behind the lights and music lies real passion and heartbreak. From gritty Brooklyn streets to Travolta's personal struggles, this film's magic came from raw, real moments. What's your favorite scene? Comment below and strut your way to the like and subscribe buttons for more real weird movie secrets. And for all you sexy subscribers, stay hot and keep dancing.
Wow, that was weird.